Hey guys, welcome back. BDCKR here, and we're back with our weekly Q&C&A&T videos. That's questions, comments, answers, and talk, where we look at the comments on our videos and give answers, or we use them as takeoff points for talking about things that are interesting to us. And
okay, so it's funny that actually it's taken us 5 seasons and 10 episodes into our 5th season to decide that we're actually going to have a standard kind of introduction, because people have been asking about, well, how do I ask you a question?
Yeah, and I don't know how often we actually need to do that, because I do like some of our... I feel like calling it scat would be like too generous to us, like scat style, where it's just like off the cuff, just making kind of mouth noises.
I thought you were going to say scat
not
like
the,
animals.
Not the feces kind, like the style of music.
All right, so this is Drew Carey. Small scat, cute. Big scat, scoot. So when you see big scat, you got to run.
And so what?
That's an example of talk. The T in talk.
Yeah. Okay. So we're in season 5, episode 11. Our first question comes from Felix Lord 66. And they say, I'm more worried about glitches that break the game than glitches that can be exploited benefiting.
Yeah, I'm totally on board with that, and think that's been our kind of underlying, is it motto or underlying, what do you call it? Or
mantra?
Yeah, like our, when an organization has a specific underlying...
like objective.
Yeah.
Statement. It's a... I don't know the exact word. Sorry.
Mission? Our mission?
Mission
Mission's
statement.
Close. Yeah. Because when we started this, I mean, maybe we were early into this kind of niche of injustice glitches and gameplay and stuff, but there's lots of other people doing it. There's lots of other people doing glitches.
Yeah.
And I've always felt that the one way we can separate ourselves was by just being actually more careful. Right, because the first glitch I think I saw online was what they call the death glitch,
yeah.
what was the overselling glitch, and then I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, but you're wrecking people's accounts, and they don't know that when they started, and then they're all peeved.
Yeah, because you lose whoever you sell forever, and so the people are doing it with gold characters to get money faster, and then losing characters that they want forever.
Right. So here's the thing. If we were posting, all right, so this is always interesting. In the fight, Arkham Knight Batgirl, the key is whether she's got Cloak of Destiny or not, because that makes her more dangerous, and that decides whether I try to kill time with Superman or whether I just drop in anyways and just let her come in and stun me. Sorry, getting back to the question. So if we were posting in a vacuum, it would be so much easier, right? Because in that kind of world, if we don't post it, nobody knows it.
Yeah, so it's just like we only post glitches that we see and think are good and worth doing, and have minor risks or risks that we think are worth it that we can accurately explain in a video.
Right. Now, it's probably just only a matter of luck that the first, I think, big glitch that was worth a lot of power credits, that was easy to get, ended up being we were like first in.
Yeah.
And first in really doesn't mean a lot, because what we're talking about is literally days, because once you've done it, people are copying you.
Yeah.
And doing their own videos about
Well,
it.
I remember, I think we did one warning against using the death glitch, and we were getting people coming to us and asking what to do, and the only explanation that makes sense for that is that people were looking at other videos doing it, or their friends were telling them how to do it, doing it, and then having their account screwed up, and then they were looking for somebody to help them, and they found our video afterwards or something like that. Or maybe they just heard what we said don't do this, you'll screw up your account, and then they did it, and then were confused when their account was screwed up, and they're like, oh, well, what now?
Yeah. So, well, there's a really good example of something recent, right? So there's and it's not a new glitch, but a lot of people have been talking about it lately, where you use 2 devices logged in the same account, and we haven't done a video on that glitch, and we haven't been promoting it because it sort of crosses the line, for me at least. It's bigger than most because you need 2 devices. Yeah. So that you've already selected out a bunch of people. But the second thing is, and maybe this is our own personal experience, but there's a huge risk of suspension. So, because I remember way back when, our original account, and I was grinding, this must have been the first Ares season.
Ooh, yeah.
And the device was crashing like crazy. So I went to a different device, forgot to log out of the first one.
Yeah.
Started playing the second one, and it almost immediately suspended the account.
Which is rough because we hadn't even done anything.
Well, again, nothing intentionally bad. Like, again, you look at the terms of service. There's nothing there that says you can't play on you can't switch devices, right? And in fact, the fact that there's a WBID means that it's a backup, so that if you change devices, you can. Mm-hmm. But it's the way they set it up that ended up causing the account to be suspended. And now that doesn't happen, right? The account suspension, I think, takes longer to happen now.
Yeah.
It doesn't react as quickly. But, you know, to me, that means that kind of glitch where you're spending on one device and getting to keep the money and what you buy the pack for isn't something that we're going to be working with.
Yeah, it's just not. We're reticent to try it.
Yeah. On the other hand, the most recent multiplayer season glitch where you get a bunch of old rewards, it's also risky,
Mm-hmm. It comes
but in a
with its own
different
separate
way.
set of risks.
Yeah, and you can actually mitigate that, right? Because when you're suspended, you got nothing. Mm-hmm. But the multiplayer season glitch, there's a risk of corrupting your account. There's the risk of, you know, the secondary account bleeding into the primary one. And maybe we should talk about that a little bit too. But that you actually have control over when you do a backup save. You've got a third-party backup save, and you can if you've corrupted it, you can come back to it. And that's why we were really clear in that video that you should actually do it first before you do anything else.
Yeah. So there we go. Our next question, this is not a question, this is a comment, comes from Idoclubs TV. And they say, I am going to censor this slightly. They say, effing stop clickbait. Well, okay. They actually haven't spelled the word correctly here. There's a C in there that they've...
So it's more like nuke than it is nuck.
Yeah, so they've kind of omitted a letter here, so I guess it's not really profanity, but I think I get their attention, so I'm going to say effing stop clickbaiting and get to showing us glitches and not telling us, and stop effing waiting to the end.
Oh, right, because that's yelling. The capital letters are
Yeah,
yelling.
well, I'm trying to match tone. I'm doing a dramatic reading here.
I give you full props for that. That was actually pretty good. That's really like how I was reading it.
Yeah, and first off, I want to address, this person is saying it like this is a long-standing complaint. I want to say you're welcome for all the glitches over the years, and if you found out that all the good stuff's at the end every time, if this is a regular occurrence for you, maybe you wanna click around a little bit and just find the glitches right at the end there. If you know where they're gonna be, it seems like you kind of outsmarted us in our attempt to, I don't know, make you watch like a 15-minute video instead of like a 5-minute one.
So, and there's a related comment. I think I wish I'd pulled that one out earlier, where somebody was had posted the time and said, you know, glitch starts at whatever time.
Yeah. And
it's almost as if they're wanting people to fail, because maybe we're not doing it right and it doesn't come across properly, but all those warnings actually matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
because we're seeing it now, where people are actually having their accounts bleed and they don't have a backup and they can't revert it.
Mm-hmm. People are running into the issues that we're specifically talking about in the video, and that means that even as is, people aren't watching the videos fully or properly, and these people want us to have less information in it. And I love the clickbaiting thing, because I mean, I think as far as video titles get, it's hard to get much more dry and informative than ours. Okay. Like, I'm not to insult us or anything, but it's not like we're using our creativity in making the titles of these glitches. It's not like we're really...
Yeah, definitely not on the glitches. Like, the MP teams, I like to have a little bit of fun sometimes.
Yeah,
with the
MP
titles.
teams, sometimes there's a pun or two. That's true. But for, like, the majority of our videos, the weekly recaps, right?
Oh, I don't know how you can get drier than that. With, like, I think our aesthetic is relatively minimalist.
Yeah. Read Microsoft Paint Easy.
Yeah.
And so I think, I don't know, there's just something that I really love about it's like when somebody uses a character trait that you really, really definitely don't have to insult you.
Right.
Or just something that doesn't even seem particularly like an insult. It's like if somebody insulted me by saying I looked boyish, and they like, but with like real anger in their heart, because it's not a good insult. It's not. I mean, even if it was applicable, it wouldn't matter, but I think it's not applicable, and it really means that I think they're grasping at straws almost right off the bat if they're trying to say something to get at you. You know what I mean? It's like, if that's the best you got, I think I'm actually doing pretty good. Like,
oh, do you remember the one that thought it was insulting to us that to say that we were just so soft because we liked ramen?
Oh yeah, that was.
There's something.
That was really a magnum opus. That was a manifesto of sorts against ramen.
Yeah, I did not realize that there are such ramen haters out there.
It's good to know, though, I guess, right? Because it's like, you go through your life thinking that everybody has, at worst, a neutral opinion of ramen. And
Listen,
then
it's comfort food, man.
Yeah, and then it turns out there's somebody who's like, dad, like, was crushed by, like, a case of ramen boxes or whatever, and they really hate the stuff. And that's just, like, you know, it's just a facet of the world that you hadn't seen before. But that's, like, I really appreciate the use of clickbaiting here, because, I mean, it's us. Like, I think it's hard to find a less applicable insult to us. I mean, sure, people can say our videos are too long. I like the length of our videos, so I don't really care. But it's like clickbaiting, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like there's a lot more valid criticisms. It was easier when my voice was much more grating, I feel like, to come up with a valid criticism. But I'm sure there's stuff if they were looking, and this person just did not I don't know, do their due diligence. They fell short of scathing.
What's interesting to me about the channel as it's you know, aged, as it's matured, is that the people that really get angry are the people that care about the glitches.
Yeah. Well, because everybody else here kind of knows us. You don't stop in on a recap and are like, hey, screw you guys. I'm trying to think of really bad insults. You guys sound like you eat pork 3 times a week. Like, just kind of nonsensical. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. People are finding reasons to be angry that are increasingly esoteric.
Yeah. So I think maybe this is not the channel for Idoclubs TV.
Yeah. I love this because this reminds me, obviously it's not as good as, but this reminds me of one of my favorite comments of all time. And we've had a lot of wonderful comments. We've had some people saying some real nice stuff to us. We've had some real long-term fans. And some people who, like, you know, we've had a lot of cool interactions. We've interacted with some people that are just cool for what they do and the lives that they're living, and what they've shared with us. But one of my favorite comments of all times, and I'm sorry to everybody else, just comes from Diamond Kirk. They didn't spell diamond right. Their profile picture was a Minecraft diamond, and their entire comment was just F you. And it was just on a random video. There was no kind of rhyme or reason. There was nothing for us to improve on. It was it's like somebody saw a complaint box and they just decided to take a big steaming dump in it. Like, there was nothing constructive there. And I just love that, because I have no clue why this person watched our video, decided they were very, very angry about it. The dislike wasn't enough, obviously, but they didn't want to tell us to get better. I guess maybe what we did was so egregious to them that they were like, these people don't deserve a chance at redemption. Something in their content just, you know, maybe the day that they were having. Most certainly a child who doesn't know how to spell diamond and loves Minecraft. Not sure where they are now. It's been years at this point, so I'm sure they're doing something completely different. But I think about that comment every once in a while, and I really do well and truly love that comment. I just...
Now, to be totally fair, it's quite possible that the diamond spelt properly was already taken.
No, but that's not how YouTube things work. That was like
You can still take the name. It's not. I don't think there's anything exclusive, right? Like, if you've actually picked it, you can still pick another one. Like, you know, you can still have the same name.
So Kirk, wherever you are, I hope you found it in your heart to forgive. You know?
And you're not forgotten, right? He's left an indelible mark.
Oh yeah, it's really. I think I tried to find it. They're in it's in like the spam comments or whatever. I always forget which kind of like weird like crusty corner of the the channel I can find it in. But it's a good comment.
Now I want to point out in this fight, what's interesting is they put John Stewart Green Lantern in, but really low health, to give the annoying immunity at 10%. And what's beautiful about Wonder Woman here is that when that happens, then, well, we missed out on it here, but when that happens, she can transmit more power to her teammates. Like, that's actually, I look forward to seeing a team with Astro Harness and Green Lantern. It might slow it down, but it also gives us a chance to really, for this team really to shine, where Aquaman gets to do a whole bunch of special ones and bleed people out, and New 52 Superman can come in if he ever needs to, like pretty much immune to almost any damage, but doing a butt ton of damage himself. Sorry.
No problem. I think just we're here at the end of this. I think this retrospective on comments. I think really quickly I want to run people through what my comments are from favorite to least favorite. And so obviously Dim and Kirk is up there at the top, special place in my heart. And I mean, I'm joking, but I'm only half joking. Like, the people supporting us, obviously, I actually do like better, but something about that comment has stuck with me more. It's much more memorable because it's a lot snappier, you know? 2 words, in and out fast. It's hard to remember, like, you know, to find an example of somebody doing something really cool, right? It's hard to remember, you know, the exact text of every iProphet comment doing the timestamps on their videos, right? Like, that's a kind of an idea of a type of comment more than it is like a specific like thing. And there's something about just the 2 words that makes it really easy. I can picture in my mind the profile picture, the little blue name, and the entirety of that text. But that's up there.
I know exactly what you mean, because I actually have a favorite comment, and I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. I can't remember the name of the person who wrote it or the entire text, but the gist of it was that they were really grateful that we had this channel where we were just being ourselves. And we were just being goofy.
Yeah.
And it gave them the courage to do that themselves, right?
Yeah.
Remember
that was really cool. Yeah. So we've had a lot of really kind of cool interactions like that, and those are actually my favorite, you know, just people being nice, people just stopping in to say, for whatever reason, the content, the video that day, they're just like, hey, I like your stuff, you guys are cool, keep it up. That's always cool. And I like right underneath that, but in close second, and you'll probably have been able to tell from my Dim and Kirk thing, but I like the really, really bad ones, the stuff that gets caught in like the spam and the profanity and the hate speech filter all together, and it's awful and vitriolic, and if it got through and I knew people were reading it in the description and that was like the space that video had become, it would make me sad. But the fact that there's such hatred and it's never gonna see the light of day, and then, you know, just like clicking over and just being like, oh, why is this person so angry? And it's nonsensical and it's offensive, and it's like, it sucks that this person exists in this world, but I think it's so incredible that they decided to stop and share their opinion on this very small injustice YouTube channel, and that even that they were denied. Nobody is gonna see this content except for me.
It's even better when they clearly put in a lot of time.
So I like those, and then I guess the worst stuff is just, you know, when somebody on a glitch that still works just comments the word patched, or when somebody is like, can you help, this doesn't work.
Okay. I don't even mind the it doesn't work, or sorry, if they say they can't get it to work. It's when they say, oh yeah, this is fixed, it doesn't work at all, because they can't follow instructions. And
then in the middle, this is good. This is a scale of very few things that I don't like. The kind of slightly positive ones. These are better than people just going, it don't work anymore, and then not giving us any more information. I just everything else, you know, the questions can be really good too. Just random comments, discussions, all that stuff is all wonderful, and there's really only one type of comment that I don't like, which is good.
Yeah. Another one that stands out in my mind is the dad who's asking about how to explain glitches to his son.
Oh yeah, that was cool. That was
really thoughtful.
And I want to say those are just a couple that have stood out to us, but there's been, you know, a lot of really kind of generally cool stuff. So I don't want to like make anybody feel like, oh, I had a cool comment that they're not mentioning specifically here. We can't all be Dim and Kirk.
And we should also point out too, even though it's almost got the feel of a eulogy, this is not the end of the channel. It happens that the questions put us down this sort of darker kind of introspective path.
See, I don't want to sing the song, but there's that song where it's like, as we go on, we remember, right? Like that like the graduation song, where everybody does that. Like I feel like we need to play that in the background, but we most certainly do not have the rights for that, so we will not.
I want to point out the fight that just ended, that Batman Ninja Batman, it looks like he had the gear to protect himself, and you can see how this team handles it beautifully, because Injustice 2 Aquaman bled him out, shattered a bunch of his gear, so by the time Wonder Woman came in to do her special, even though he was clearly outnumbered, he wasn't very much trouble at all. Just wanted to point that out.
I'm not sure how the mic picked that up. I just want to say to all you in the comments, be gentle to me in my singing. Thank you. I'm a sensitive boy. Okay. Our next question comes from Francisco Panzas, and they were saying, okay, so you know what? Actually, sorry, real quick. Idoclubs TV, if you wanted something to really cut deep, there you go. You got it. You got your fodder now. Come back. Hit us up with something, make it cutting. Francisco Panza says, I was waiting for another video. When are you guys uploading another glitch?
So maybe a bit, again, this is really that kind of, this week has been a bunch of questions to make me really think, but more oral history here is that there's been actually, in the time that we've played Injustice, the times where there's been a significant glitch where you could actually make a lot of power credits has been relatively small.
Yeah.
Compared to the time where there's actually something not available. And the fact that there was only a short period of time between the better multiplayer seasons glitch and this newer one that's a little bit more dangerous, that was like ridiculously fast. The fact that there was something so soon after is really unusual.
Yeah, count your lucky stars the way that you've already got it.
Yeah, and so here's the other thing too, like from a YouTuber kind of perspective, is that
that's
if
us.
We were to sorry?
That's us. That's who we are.
Yeah. If you think of a channel, like what we do is glitches. If we own that, I mean, that's the biggest, most popular part of highest number of views, right, for the videos. But if we relied only on uploading new glitch videos, I think this channel would be dead.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't really. It would be like one of those channels that uploads like one video that goes viral, and then like 5 videos of like their dog, and then that's right. That's it.
Because you did a little bit of research about this, and you were explaining to me how YouTube's algorithm rewards regular uploads, right?
Yeah, I haven't done too much, but there's been different phases, and basically, I mean, there's people who know this a lot better and who can explain this, but YouTube's algorithm basically has output data of what it values, and its ultimate goal is to, obviously produce the most value for the company. And it's just, they have different input and output variables. They just give it a ton of data, and it recommends everybody stuff. And every time something gets tweaked, normally is when there's a huge shift in the type of content that can become popular on YouTube. That's some of the times where you find new stuff becoming popular. But basically, like watch time is really valued, and there's also been a shift where the more regular your content is, and there seems to be a sweet spot where if you do too regular and people aren't watching all of your videos, that's not good either. But the more regular your content is, I don't remember when this was a while ago, but it really helped you stay successful.
Yeah, not only just in terms of, I guess, ad revenue, but also in terms of recommendations, right?
Yeah, so that's how you get your audience to grow. That's how you have the people who already watch you keep watching you. So you want basically people to watch as much of your video as possible. You want everybody to be liking, subscribing, commenting. You want as much user engagement as possible. You want people to go from one video to another video and not just leave the site after watching one of your videos. So the longer that you can keep somebody here on YouTube is valuable too.
Is that like where you don't want it to be the last person they watch on YouTube, because then that means you were the one that turned them off? It made them decide, I've had enough.
I'm not.
As opposed to the first person where, I'm just getting warmed up. You're like an appetizer, and you're actually encouraging people to watch more.
Yeah, I guess so. And I'm not sure exactly what everything is, and I'm not sure how it's weighted, but basically anything that makes people more, that you can think of that makes people more likely to basically at the end of the day provide YouTube money, but in the short term be like valuable to a channel as a content producer and YouTube as a platform. Any of those factors, there's a decent chance that they're part of the algorithm and that you get rewarded for having those traits by being more successful in one of whatever ways, in recommendations and, you know, ad value, all that stuff.
Yeah, that's very interesting to me. Now, if only YouTube Space Toronto would start having events again.
Yeah, I know. YouTube Space Toronto is real cool, but we don't get to hang out there anymore.
Not for about a year.
Yeah.
There hasn't been anything, at least on the calendar. So too bad.
Yeah. So I think that's it for that question. That was kind of a long... I don't even know... We didn't actually answer the question, when are you guys uploading another glitch? And the answer to that question is, I don't know, when a good one
actually,
comes
a lot
along.
less sooner than I thought. Because the glitch that that we were just talking about, right? Maybe we weren't talking about it. I definitely was thinking about, because I was reading somebody's question, that the one glitch that we're working on, it does not look like it's ready for prime time, because what it does is it's actually trying to take advantage of the bleed, where you take an account that has more credits and put them into an account with fewer credits.
Yeah.
And it seems like it'd be a good idea, but what it's been doing most of the time, it's corrupting stuff. And if you're not careful and you don't look every time, you don't even notice that maybe, you know, 2 of your fourth world gears are gone, and 2 of your LexCore gears are gone, and it totally corrupts it. And I think it's because it's bleeding, and when different characters either have it on or don't have it on, or that there's just the way the gears are saved in the account, it messes up, and sometimes it just reduces them to nothing if it still happens to be on a player, but then it also means it's out of your collection, which is weird. And if we can't figure out the consistent pattern for how to do it right, then it's definitely not something that we're going to be able to explain or recommend. I mean, I can explain how I do it, how I'm getting credits but also screwing up the account, but it's not something I'm ready to actually share with everybody.
Yeah. So that's a more direct answer to the question. But
so it'll be a while. We don't know, and I was hoping there'd be something fast, but clearly not.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
I guess that's a value you don't see, right? I mean, what we do, that's
true.
actually not visible.
That's true. Our next comment comes from Redd780 Harris, and they say, I think you two are trying to downplay y'all lack of grind. And I just want to be clear, this will come up later. This is very difficult to read. It's all very kind of... there's a lot of shorthand, and like it's slang-y in like an internet way. But I just because there's a sentence here that I love. I'm just gonna let it happen. If you know something that's wrong or not right and don't get caught or suffer a penalty, still don't make it right. You guys do it too. You say you did it before everybody else. Do y'all do that to y'all college test? And then one can only imagine in perfect English. And like that's like
a perfect English sentence in the middle of all that.
Yeah, one can only imagine. It's haughty. It's spelled completely right. I don't think there's a 4-word stretch anywhere else in which like everything's spelled right, or there isn't some like kind of weird like internet text quirk that I thought had largely become extinct when everybody realized that it didn't take that much longer to type properly. But
right.
One can only imagine. Hackers and in brackets whatever y'all call y'allself make grinders like me not even want to play. Hashtag sad. And then in a response to their own comment, they say, since Phantom Zone came out, I have already faced Elite 7 metal characters, and here I'm grinding my ass off. Can you or anyone recommend a grinder page so I can grind with them? And I want to start off by saying I love the tone that this person has taken here, because they're like gritting their teeth and they're like, man, this really sucks. I'm grinding my ass off. This is so much work. I wish there was something to make it easier. I know they don't directly say that, but it feels implied, and then they're like, glitching? Nah, I'm better than you people. Like they're just they have the sense of superiority, and they're really miserable up on that high ground. Like,
yeah, it's funny and not like it's a little bit sad. Okay, so the problem is I don't know of any grinders at this point in the life cycle of Injustice. I think there's very few people actually putting out Injustice content regularly.
Yeah, and I mean the kind of distinction between like a glitcher, hacker, and grinder seems like an interesting one, because I don't know how many thousands of hours we have to put into this game before we are also considered grinders. Like, the fact that we use glitches doesn't mean that we don't grind.
That's true. I have repetitive stress injury on my forearm to show for it. I mean, it's better now, but when we first found that challenge reset, oh man, I was gritting my teeth quite a bit.
Yeah, so it's like I don't know. I mean, I'm sure there are people who have played more than us, but it feels like, as far as playtime goes, we are probably still in the upper echelons of hours spent doing this thing. And it seems funny to me, especially because it's like there's no glitch that we've been using for online play. We have, you know, been keeping ourselves up on the boards like every season for a very long time. I don't know when we also get to be inducted into the Grinder Hall of Fame that Redd780 Harris is obviously attempting to keep us out of.
Okay, so what you're saying too, all right, so this reminds me of something totally unrelated. Well, not unrelated, but obviously it's related enough to make me think of it, is the whole issue that fandom has with gatekeepers, where some people challenge fans, and if they don't know enough, or they haven't seen enough, or they haven't enjoyed this one particular part of that fandom.
Oh god, especially this is one of those things that you see with dudes for some reason deciding to target whenever a woman says she likes something.
Oh, yeah.
Like where she suddenly has to prove herself, where it's like, oh, I like comics too, and it's like, do you, like, what's the, like, who did this comic, and it came out in like 1973, it's issue 4 of whatever, and it's like, who is the, like, author, like, they need to know, like, every obscure fact about it, like, there's some, like, really weird, absurdist hoop that they have to jump through.
It's the divide between the hipster and the fan.
Yeah.
So to me, a hipster, it's cool because they like it before everybody else, or because nobody else does, or that they like it better than everybody else. And a fan, I don't care. Like, I love the fact that other people are enjoying it. My joy comes from just not just the thing, but being able to share it with other people. Yeah,
and the best reason that I've ever seen for somebody, for the way that people behave that way, and I want to say this isn't actually a justification, and I'm going to tear it down, but the best justification that I've seen is when people go, the reason why it's so important to me, and it feels weird when all these people flood in, is because I liked the thing when it was still hard to like it. Like, I liked it when people talk about, like, being a nerd, when that wasn't, like, a cool thing, when people were like, yeah, so I'm a nerd, and I was bullied for it, right? Like, I felt like I was in this group, and this group has like, I had to suffer for it, and it was important enough to me that that's what I did. And now that it's cool, it just feels like everybody is it, and it's too easy. And I don't agree with that. That's the best explanation I've ever heard for why people initially behave like that. But the problem is that's only a good explanation if you think that it should stay that way. If you, and I think
so that's so right.
Yeah, and I think it shouldn't stay that way. You're obviously saying this was a bad thing to happen to you. This is a negative experience. And
you're perpetuating it.
Yeah, and the fact that there was a time that it was hard to like what you liked, you are now making it harder for other people to like what you still like. And you're right, it doesn't mean as much. It's not the same badge of suffering. But also, if it's a thing that you like, it's cool that other people can get into it, and they don't have to go through all these trials and tribulations to just, like, unabashedly like something.
Right.
So
no, that is exactly it.
I wanted to put forth that viewpoint, but I also didn't want to, like, give it water. Like, I wanted to make it clear that I don't agree with it.
That you weren't endorsing it by talking about it, right? Yeah. That it was, no. I mean, you can see that in everything, right? Like, you can see that in hazing rituals in schools. You can see that in apprenticeships for different professions.
Yeah.
I mean, a perfect example is when you were talking about, for example, medical school, right? Where it used to be that they would have, like, to put in so many hours and stuff, and one of the pushbacks you get is that the doctors say, well, we went through that, why can't you?
And it's like, well, why do you want
but it was wrong.
Yeah, you're complaining about something, and then turning around to say, well, if somebody else doesn't have to do it, then why did I have to do it? And it's like, well, don't you want to make it better for other people? Like, what?
Yeah.
Why is it worse for you that it's better for somebody who's not you?
this is the same thing that I see when people talk about, well, these people have it, this job or this profession has it so easy, and I don't have it so easy, right? That it's actually a lot harder. So maybe the answer isn't that you should tear other people down, is to pull everybody up.
Yeah.
That's
an inspirational note to end on. We're out of content, and I feel like we're gonna screw it up if we keep talking.
Well, and we still have questions from 3 weeks ago that we never got to.
Oh man.
But we will soon. I mean, I guess it's not the worst thing to have to still have content that we're trying to push out, because when we first started this, I was afraid that we'd run out of stuff to say.
That's true. This is an interesting episode because I'm not sure if it's really good or really bad or just really weird. Like, it's definitely different from our average one a little bit. That's true.
Well, listen, I still enjoy these because it gives me a chance to talk to you, even if it's only over the interwebs.
That's true. Yeah, no matter how busy
instead of working together in the studio like we used to.
Mm-hmm. So to finish up this video, we got some thanks, some gratitude is in order. As the chicken soup for the Soul board game subtitle is called, we have an attitude of gratitude.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah. So I want to give a big thank you to, actually, you know what? I'm gonna let you do the thank yous because I did the whole intro thing. I've been talking.
All right, so we have people who've been supporting us on Patreon for a while now, and these are Eddy G, Edwin Felix, and Console Peasant, who are supporting us at the highest last word tier. iProphet, who's supporting us at the Your Message Here tier, and still doing a yeoman's job of putting timestamps on our Q&C&A&T videos each week. No pressure. And Shawn, Farrell, and Daniel Simonson, who are also supporting us and continue to support us on the credited level.
There we go. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I guess to all of you people who aren't that very small elite group of awesome folks, you can support us too if you want by going to patreon.com/bdckr or clicking on our icon in the bottom right corner at the end of this video.
And even if you don't, we're still really grateful that you're still watching us.
Yeah, hey, if you're listening to this point in the video, you are already up there with the cool folks in my eyes, as long as you aren't, I don't know, really problematic, I guess. That's not like a blanket statement. If you have some like real bad viewpoints, I guess it's not good, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt in this case, since I don't in fact know who is watching to this point. You've got a point in your favor no matter what else is going on in your life right now, and I appreciate you. And yeah, maybe it's not my place to judge, you know.
Yeah.
So thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Komoda.